Hello everybody, my name is Joe Tennell. Welcome to Total Justice Gaming. Today we're going to be looking at our very first Transformers TCG deck profile. We will be looking at Major Soundwave, Ravage, and Raider Aimless. The reason we're going with Raider Aimless as opposed to just flat out Ravage and Laserbeak will be explained in this. We also have a full deck profile that also features a sideboard. We are going to be running Soundwave, Aimless, and Ravage off of Blue, Solid Blue. And we will look at it, break down the abilities. We'll break down some minor synergies that I found here and there. This is my very first deck profile, guys. I hope everybody enjoys it. Let's get right down into it. Major Soundwave is a leader class Decepticon with spaceship and specialist subtyping. He is a 4 attack, 15 health, 2 defense spaceship, and each of with the static ability of each of your spy patrols get +1 defense. He is a 11-star card unit. The deck itself is a total of 11, 7, and 5, so 23. And let's look at Soundwave in bot form. Once transformed, Soundwave just goes down to leader and specialist. He is, however, given a 6 defense, 15 health, and 2 defense. He has an ability of when this attacks, untap each of your spy patrols. This will play into both the Laserbeak side deck form version and into the Ravage version. Breaking down the other cards, we are running with the Cassette of Ravage and the Battlemaster Aimless. Aimless is a Battlemaster in ranged, and Raider Ravage is a spy patrol, meaning he does get the defensive bump when Soundwave is in alt form, making him a very, very tough 4 defense. Raider Aimless is sitting at a 3 attack, a 8 health, and a 0 defense, hence why we are blue. To make up for this, Aimless does have tough 3. In their alt forms, Raider Aimless becomes a weapon upgrade that has a ability of when the upgraded character attacks, and you flip at least 3 blue just to do 3 damage directly to the defender. If this would leave the battlefield, put it into your KO area instead. Ravage, on the other hand, when he goes into his Sleek Panther form, has 3 attacks, 7 health, and 1 defense. He also has the tap ability of do 1 damage to an enemy if the enemy has 4 defense or more, do 2 damage instead. And then the explanation of how a tap ability works. So, the reason why I chose this is because this just gives you free damage when you tap. Then if you can somehow transform Raider Aimless into his thing, since we are running a solid blue deck in this version, you will also have the chance to just continuously deal free damage on top of your damage you're dealing naturally. We don't get a lot of damage pumps outside of our weapons, as we are a solid blue deck. Ravage has the ability to just ping somebody for 1 damage, then re-ready and swing for 3. Soundwave is pretty decent himself, sitting at a 4 defense in alt mode with a 4 attack in alt mode and a 6 attack in defense mode. Moving on to the 40 card battle deck. We are running 3 copies of the blue double pip, handheld blaster. We are running 3 copies of primary laser. Primary laser is a single blue pip, but does give us +2 attack, meaning Aimless can be a 5, Soundwave can be a 6 or an 8, and Ravage can actually then swing in cassette mode for at least 2 and deal a decent 5. Moving into it, we also, while not, I do take this back. I did say this was a solid blue deck. We are going to be running at least 3 copies of HV Electron Blaster, merely because it is a decent weapon. It's Decepticon only and does allow for a bit more pierce. It's just a pretty solid weapon all around, and I really do like it. So we are going to be running 3 copies of that. We are also going to be running 3 copies of Dismantling Claw. A reoccurring weapon is absolutely needed. It has a +1 attack bonus, which is okay. And when this is scrapped from a character, should a character get knocked out, we're hoping Aimless gets knocked out so we can turn him into a Battle Master. I at least get some sort of bonus of getting KO, losing a bot into an upgrade by scrapping an enemy weapon when this goes to the discard pile. We are also going to be running some tough padding. I do want to get a third tough padding. Right now, I'm limited by what I have in stock now in my card bank. I will be getting 2 boxes, so expect a more updated profile down the line. But right now, we got 2 extra padding with that gives a tough 1. It's a recurring armor, so right now 2. I do plan on making it on 3 later on down the road. Also, we're going to be running 3 smoke screens, or smoke cloaks, pardon me. Smoke cloak is a black-blue. This also gives us tough 1. It just also gives us at least it gives us pierce when we need it. There is a more pierce-focused air deck later on down the road. So, continuing on, we have 2 urban camos. And these are utilities that are in blue. We have Urban Camo. It gives tough 1. It just lets us flip more on the defense, which we will definitely need because orange is getting just as strong, and some of the orange decks are getting nastier and nastier, so we need just a little bit more to help us make it through. Moving into our actions, we are going to be running 3 Leap into Battle. Blue, a single blue pip with +3 attack. We can also sideboard, but we'll get into that later. We're running 2 copies of Pep Talk for the draw 2. That's another single blue pip. 2 copies of Brainstorm to be able to play multiple actions on a single turn. This really helps allow me to be able to draw 2 cards, and I can leap into battle, or I can vaporize to scrap an enemy. Various applications to be used with this Brainstorm. Furthermore, speaking of that, Vaporize. Scrap an enemy upgrade. I really like Vaporize. I was looking at the other cards, and I like Vaporize the most because it just scrap an enemy upgrade, so I can choose what upgrade goes. I'm not limited to weapon. I'm not limited to armor. I'm not limited to utility. I do think there is one that also is a recurring scrapping thing, but I think that also locks me into a specific thing. I just prefer Vaporize because it just says scrap and enemy upgrade. So it's my choice on the upgrade. We, of course, will be running some secret actions. Our first 2 secret actions out of the 2 is Battlefield Report, which is whenever we lay it face down and then reveal whenever a character defends. We draw 2 and then plan 1. So I think it's a defensive incoming transmission. I am, honestly, guys, this is my very first time doing this. I'm not totally, I don't have all the cards memorized, so I'm trying my best. I do believe that is what incoming transmission is, but it's an orange pip. This is a defensive secret incoming transmission, which is still good because this lets me put in a blue pip where I need it. Furthermore, we are running 2 Dampening Field. There's a lot of bold decks now because bold's very easy to obtain. This prevents them from flipping more than 4. So the best they can at least do is a white pip flip or a bold 1, but no more than that. So this also helps control damage output from opposing decks. Furthermore, and this actually did get tossed around before I made this deck profile on a couple of message boards on Facebook, we are now going to be running 2 Forcefields main board. This is if they get just absolutely monstrous damage. I only take forward damage in the grand scheme of things, so long as it's equipped. This is very useful. I do have some fragile units. I would prefer to keep Ravage on the board as long as possible. Soundwave, though a pretty hefty at 15 health, could still just use a wee bit more protection. Raider Aimless, quicker he gets scrapped, the better, because then I get a gun. Because there are Battle Masters out there, I am going to also be running 2 copies of Debilitating Crystal. Debilitating Crystal is when this when the upgraded character attacks, return one of the defending character's upgrades to its owner's hand. So if they are on defense and they have a Battle Master or a Weaponizer equipped, I can bounce it back to their hand. They leave the field. They hit the KO pile. This is what I think it needs to be a staple card or a card that's in the sideboard. It's got to be in almost every deck now because we do have Battle Masters and Weaponizers. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more Battle Masters and Weaponizers down the road. So I see this as a very important card in the coming meta. What little knowledge I have. We are also going to be running 2 copies of Security Console. When the character defends, draw a card and plan one. Drawing a card is always good, and then planning it, yes, it's pretty much draw one, scrap one. But in this case, I can put a double pip from my hand and then get 2 more defense, or at least make a plan like it's suggesting. And then the final 2 cards are going to be Datapad. When the upgraded character attacks, draw a card, and then you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So it's a draw one, plan one. We don't really have a lot of use for Datapad outside of the draw, but it's continuous draw for Ravage or for Soundwave, and again, drawing cards is always good. The plan one for this may not be as good since this is not an orange deck, but it's still worth it. Okay, so those is the main deck. We will now be shifting over into the sideboard. The sideboard is going to be Laserbeak as our single bot. Laserbeak in cassette mode is a 092. He has, when you flip to this mode, draw a card, then scrap a card from your hand. So draw one, scrap one. We will be replacing Ravage because we shift from free damage into piercing damage. So I guess, how did Soundwave put it? Operation Pierce. Every time he ejected one of his cassettes, it was an operation class. So this shifts our deck from Operation Ping into Operation Pierce. We shift into robot mode. Laserbeak is a 2-8 or a 2-9-1, excuse me. He is still a Spy Patrol and ranged. He has Pierce 2 for 2, meaning he's always guaranteed to deal his full attack value. He also has the tap ability of when you play, you may play, just flat out, you may play a secret action. So this lets me play either Dampening Field or what's the other one called? I totally lost train of thought, guys. Give me 1 second. Battlefield Report. So Dampening Field, Battlefield Report can just be put into play by Laserbeak himself. We also shift from a nearly full blue deck, save for a couple of the black pips, into a hybridized blue-black deck. We'll be running 2 Battlefield Reports. This makes it so where people cannot use Brave or Stealth. We do see a lot more Battle Masters, Micro Masters out on the field. This allows to attack them directly, even when they're in car mode, to car or plane mode, to get at them and get them out of the way. Some of them are quite nuisances, and this knocks out Brave, which quite a few bots that are a bit chunky, such as Ultra Magnus Brave. This will allow us to attack where we want to attack. Also, it's a reoccurable card with the green pip, and it is a black pip. Furthermore, we are moving into Dismantle. Dismantle is a black pip that says scrap an enemy or weapon. Again, I explained I like Vaporize better because it's just flat out scrap and upgrade. But this allows us to shift over, be able to get that pierce in, to make sure we do our full damage value if possible, and scrap a weapon or an armor. Following that, we have 3 copies of Calculated Strike. We would probably be swapping Leap into Battle for this. This is, of course, a black pip, which is a little hard to see on my camera, but it's there. We sacrifice 1 damage of Leap into Battle, because I believe Leap into Battle gives +3. So we're only getting a +2, but we do get Pierce 2. And So this means Laserbeak would be a 4 Pierce 4. Soundwave would be able to pierce, be a 6 with a Pierce 2. It's just a good card. And it's an acceptable swap for Leap into Battle if we do run into a hard, solid blue like this to be able to make sure we get damage. And then finally, we are going to stick in with Repurpose. We just scrap a card to draw 2. We're getting a +1 on our hand draw for this. Another black pip and drawing cards is always good. This is a more action-heavy deck. We need to get our secret actions in hand. We have a lot more abilities we play than we actually do upgrades and weapons, but that's because we have, pardon the ding, just a reminder of something. But we have a full sideboard there. So we have Operation Pierce that lets us go into black-blue, and then we have Operation Ping with Raider Aimless, Raider Ravage, center those, and Soundwave. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, I really am enjoying this game. I am currently building some other stuff, so look forward to that. Please like, subscribe, you know, all the little aggregator talk in order to boost the channel. But I do appreciate it. Feedback is always appreciated. Positive or negative, if you leave a comment, I'll be more than happy to chat with you. I'm always willing to learn. I am more than happy with constructive criticism. I'm happy with criticism anyways because it helps me learn the game more. And I really want to learn this. This is a fun game. I love Transformers. So until next time, guys, hail Megatron, and to all our one.